Afrocentrics are the biggest douchebags in the universe. These ass clowns look like Rastafarian hippies that dressed themselves in the closet while goofed up on LSD after watching way too many Tarzan movies and listening to the Wailers. I've come to realize that these people are stupid. Meant to rely on poems, short stories, and other things to make up for their lack of depth, substance, and accountability, not to mention the reluctance to actually attack the problems in their community. It shows that they're part of the problem. They never have a solution. I mean, look, they defend pedophiles or they'll form radical groups that worship mulattoes and other races, and that's a sign that they have neither real dignity, competence, nor pride, and they're doomed to perpetuate failure. The most radical of the lot, in their attempt to make up for a lack of identity, tend to adopt the customs of non-blacks, and then they'll claim it was being their own, originating from some long-lost Negro race that migrated to Africa from some unknown location, usually Asia. And they claim these Negroes usually have straight hair like Dravidians or some other color like green. They came from space. They're the Jews, they're Hebrew Israelites, or they're Asiatic black men that came from the Arabian Peninsula into Africa. And somehow their hair got nappy and they got prognathism and wide noses, and their knees and their thighs start rubbing together, and they got splayed feet. Somehow all this shit started happening after they got into Africa, but somehow the Berbers avoided. But oh, by the way, they're Berbers too. They're Berbers, they're Persians, they're Chinese people. All these people came from blacks. The first samurai was black, because the last one was white. Basically, man, they ripped this shit off from the Aryans. So not only are they ripping off cultures, or at least the origin of cultures, not only are they ripping that off, they're ripping off the entire theory of it from the Nazis Aryan theory, which is pathetic. And then you got those guys that adopt a holistic lifestyle, which seems to be some guys sitting around inducing large amounts of THC, leeching off women, smoking weed, having no job or ambition, wearing natural hair, and fucking spics, whites, Asians, and anyone else they can dub people of color, which is basically a term created by them to deem certain races suitable for interracial reproduction, while justifying it to themselves in contrast to the supposed Afrocentric beliefs. You know, these adopted lifestyles and beliefs that accompany them are created out of rebellion against whites who once befriended or dated them. Once they feel betrayed by these non-blacks, they'll rebel in a way that makes it feel like the whites will regret what they've done. They're gonna adopt this African way of life, which is some feral way. It's based on racism more than fact. But they'll adopt this African way of life, and the whites are supposed to feel guilty because the black guys become all feral and drop their civilized demeanor. And they're shaking off the shackles of oppression. Basically, being black is backwards. This is why they always complain about whites or other non-blacks all the time, and they're concerned with their affairs. But when a non-black mollifies them, you know, the Afrocentric gets all enthralled and flattered, so they can re-establish relations with them. Though they'll never fully relinquish their Afrocentric beliefs, at least not too fast, so they don't come off as a hypocrite. This is the reason why militant blacks seem to love whites and date any non-black they can, because they're full of shit. The whole lifestyle is imaginary. It's created out of rebellion, and if they actually had an identity, they wouldn't need to rip off some Chinese guy. They wouldn't need to claim that Korea was founded by the Nubians. They wouldn't need any of that shit because they'd have an identity. They're jealous of all these other races. They're jealous of their accomplishments, and they know deep down in their heart of all hearts, they'll never be anything but ex-slaves. So basically, Afrocentrics, fuck you, You're gay. With AIDS.